most notably Bill McKibben in his book Earth with 2 A's. If you haven't read that, I strongly recommend it. And so, to get to that 350 pathway would take tremendous austerity on our part. We hear a lot about austerity in economic measures that Greece and Ireland and some of those countries, or even the United States. We need to go on an energy austerity thing. Because scientists tell us that, you know, we have probably between 2020 and 2050 approximately 420 gigatons that we can put into the atmosphere. And so what that means, by 2020 we need to reduce emissions 42% below 1990, and by 2050 100% below that. So we've got to act very, very quickly. And if we look at the cumulative emissions of CO2 since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, you can see where the big culprits are. The United States, Europe, Russia. China has really jumped in there in the last few decades. But look at most of the developing world. Very, very small CO2 emissions. And this is just per capita. And again, the big emitters. The cumulative. And if you remember back where most of those CO2 emissions were originated, the developed world, and then look at where the estimated deaths from climate change are occurring. It's in the developing world. Those people that are not doing the emitting are the ones that are suffering the most. And so it's becoming a destabilizing impact on the world as well. This in countries, this climate refugees are becoming a problem. Borders are going to be very hard to maintain when you look in regions in Pakistan and India and Asia. What about in this country? When it gets very hot here, is Canada going to let us migrate in toward the end of this century? And so you can see where the security risks associated with climate change are. And they're in very tense regions of the world anyway for the most part. And also we've got to stop relying on fossil fuels just because look at what happened last year in the Gulf, the BP disaster. We're destroying our planet trying to get more fossil fuels. And we've seen before what happens when a society doesn't respect its resources. The Easter Islands, which were once tropical lush areas, and they cut down all the trees and disappeared. Do we have the solutions at hand? Well, we may. In Malawi, a 14-year-old boy went to a local library and found an old Popular Mechanics and built a windmill for his home and then for his village and generated electricity. And all over the world, people are installing wind turbines. And in Africa, very ingenious way to power laptop computers, solar power, from that small installation to mega installations. And the Vatican hopes to become the first nation on earth to become totally renewable in all of its energy sources. And they have two advantages. They're a very tiny country, a little over 100 acres, and then they've got God on their side. And in this country, the solar installations are increasing dramatically. And between 2002 and 2008, some 150 coal-fired power plants were closed. But thanks to a lot of action, and yes, almost half of them were canceled. And as you all know, the Sierra Club was a huge leader, and still is, in the fight to stop coal-fired power plants. And tomorrow's super grid will be an important source of reducing our CO2 emissions, electrical transportation, fast trains, geothermal, and we've got to reforest. In India and China, reforest projects are underway on a huge scale. But all of